Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. So, Brother Bolo here, and the PMP has released a very lengthy statement that I want to examine. So, we're going to go into it, ladies and gentlemen. Now, silencing opposition MPs threatens Jamaica's parliamentary democracy. Kingston, Jamaica, July 2nd, 2026. The opposition, the People's National Party, has expressed grave concern about Tuesday's sitting of the House of Representatives. Describing it as the latest in troubling pattern of procedural inconsistency, selective enforcement of standing orders, and conduct that undermines parliamentary constitutional role as Jamaica's principal forum for accountability, scrutiny, and debate. Three incidents in particular underscore the opposition's concern. First, the leader of the opposition business, Philip Powell, MP, sought recognition to raise a procedural matter regarding the absence of the Integrity Commission's latest report from the order paper after it had been submitted to Parliament. Before he was permitted to identify his issue, the Speaker ruled him out and directed that the matter be raised privately with the leader of government business. The opposition maintains that a Speaker cannot properly determine a procedural objection without first hearing what the member seeks to raise. I'm going to read it again. The opposition maintains that a Speaker cannot properly determine a procedural objection without first hearing what the member seeks to raise. Westminster parliamentary practice requires that discretion be exercised fairly, impartially, and on an informed basis. Second, during consideration of a motion to approve a report from the Regulations Committee, several opposition members immediately called for a division after the question was put. The Speaker stated that she had not heard the request and proceeded without conducting the division. The opposition has requested a review of Hansard and the official recording, as several members maintain that the request was made clearly and in time. Jamaica, I didn't watch Parliament. There's so much things happening in Parliament the other day. Me tell you that there is a real Jezebel spirit. Third, rather than addressing these legitimate procedural concerns, government members used subsequent Third, rather than addressing these legitimate procedural concerns, government members used the subsequent debate to launch sustained personal attacks against the member of Parliament for South St. James, Neckeisha Burchell, who had been among those challenging the handling of proceedings. Members of Parliament are elected to represent the Jamaican people and are entitled within the standing orders to challenge any procedural ruling and use every lawful parliamentary mechanism to protect the right of those they represent. Rather than restraining these personal attacks, the Speaker permitted them to dominate the debate despite having little or no relevance to the matter before the House. Jamaica. Yeah, patch up here. I'm going to check that afterwards. This is the thing. This is why this lady cannot be the Speaker of the House. And she has to be removed and that. She does not know how to be professional. She has taken what Neckeisha Burchell has said outside of the Parliament and brought her personal feelings to the Parliament. And equally, that woman that she named Mama Dia, whatever she wanted, Marissa Dalrymple, she take up the argument and I defend it because the People's National Party had said they don't want she to be Speaker of the House. You remember when they decided, when Andrew decided that he not going to use him powers and make him wife Speaker of the House, although the People's National Party did not want it to be so. Jamaica, you know what's going to be wonderful and Somebody tag Marky G. Marky G. You see when the PMP win the election, the next general election, however soon that might be, because it could be very, very soon. Get ready. Hear what you're going to do. You're going to make Neckeisha Burchell the Speaker of the House. That's what I must be the first person. I said it yesterday, I'm going to say it again. Let them know. Bolo is recommending that Neckeisha Burchell be the Speaker of the House when the People's National Party win the next general election. Some of them are going to be locked up, and some of them are going to get forced to resign. But from prison and from being forced to resign, they can sit down in their living room and grimace when they see the Queen of the South as the Speaker of the House. Yes, I'm telling the Marky G, make it happen, my brother. Sir Marky G, the right honorable, please and thank you. That's my recommendation. Let's move on to the next page in this particular release. Can't this have something going on? The opposition is particularly concerned by remarks directed at MP Burchell by Desmond McKenzie, who, while pointing across the chamber, warned her that she should not cross this path or else in a parliament this happen. No. We have to take this to the courts. Such language can reasonably be interpreted as, of course, threatening and intimidating. It has no place in Jamaica Parliament and risks further lowering the standards of parliamentary discourse. Neckeisha Burchell, make sure that you get your bodyguard them, stay prayed up, your father a pastor. Yeah, man, make sure they get the full armor of the Lord Jesus Christ, and none of them can touch you. Let's continue. Let me see. Such language can be seen as threatening and intimidation. It has no place in Jamaica Parliament and risks further lowering the standards of parliamentary discourse. Philip Parwell MP said, "This is not about personalities. It is about protecting Parliament as an institution. Every member, regardless of political affiliation, has the right to be heard, seek procedural clarification, and expect the standing orders to be applied fairly and consistently." Burchell MP added, "No member of Parliament should face intimidation or selective enforcement of the rules for carrying out their constitutional duty. Our concern is not simply for one member, but for the integrity of Parliament and the rights of every elected representative." Chris Brown MP stated, the singling out of member Burchell by the former Speaker, Mrs. Darren Filbert, to my mind, amounts to inciting and represents an unfortunate direct mobilization of possible attacks within a society where violence is often the first choice for conflict resolution. What Miss Darren, whatever she wanted, did in this personal public denunciation was wrong. In fact, goes against the traditions of established proper conduct in the House. Jamaica. You remember when Darren Vaz, when I promoted Dr. Alfred Dawes, when I said something, and all type of things I go on with this, and this lady, what's she name? Whatever she want name. Come up in the business. Come on, come talk about what? This is the worst conduct in the House. It come like she not have glasses. It come like she not have ears. It come like say she blind and remember them over the Jamaica Labour Party and go with one bag of thing in the House of Parliament. And I talk about the worst. Rubbish. Man, I come gun check now. Neckeisha Burchell and I talk about don't cross Field Park. Would I ask you what that mean? Hey, man, I tell you something. Would I go in that place and say, what do you mean? We work, yes, sir. What do you mean? What do you mean by that? Well, you're going to touch me? You're going to put your hands on me? Hey, I want you, man. More order. Would have to clarify that and apologize to. You never know. But get out of the prison and prison for going to check Neckeisha Burchell. Out of order. What I'm thinking is, hey, me say them people are really feel like say them a God, you know. Me say God I got chop on the down. You soon know who is God. We continue. We say so the opposition will continue to resist the oppressive and undemocratic management of the affairs of the House of Representatives, and we will resolutely defend MP Burchell from the type of intimidatory conduct displayed by government members during the sitting. Oh, you mean every month stand up in a PMP out of order? The nerve sting. And I come talk about you come disrespect. You can read, man. You have education. Fully done. Don't make fully done get paid. The matter is not about one member and one political party. It's about preserving the integrity of Jamaica Parliament. Parliamentary rules exist to facilitate debate, protect minority rights, and ensure accountability. Well, see, we are not surprised, you know. This is the same party, you know. We wanted, when the brother name, somebody that right, we beat him wife with the chair. No, George Wright. This is the same party who back up George Wright and say, oh, just black on the eye and vote for Andrew Jones, we vote for him. And I really him not vote out. Remember when Warmington go defend him? Hey, I don't know how to respect Warmington. I don't understand people, you know. I don't have no respect for nobody in the Jamaica Labour Party. You all of them must come out of the earth, as far as me concerned. Anybody who support that, I don't rate, you know. The man beat the wife, the chair, the whole of the turn up there, and the man in the come talk about, oh, you know, we should protect women. Want to that the woman there. All the woman over there, I don't rate none of them. It's a disgrace. Absolute disgrace. Parliamentary rules exist to facilitate debate, protect minority rights, and ensure accountability. When they are applied inconsistently or in ways that frustrate legitimate scrutiny, confidence in Parliament is diminished. The People's National Party will continue to defend the rights of every elected representative, government and opposition alike, to participate freely, fairly, and without intimidation. Oi! Let me tell you something. The PNP not going nowhere. Want to learn that all labor rights, you know, we know where they in our parliament and who support the foolishness. We're not going nowhere. We are stand firm and strong for illegal playground and defend the rights. Out of order. I come talk about the man really see that? Don't cross in part S. What the fuck? Hey, not telling anyone. Yo, hey, you say, more big up, Dr. Alfred Das and Mr. The leader of the opposition, Sir Mark Jefferson Building. Because them claim to say you're soft, you know. But I know me can't see what them talk about. As a matter of fact, let me go to the clip where Mark G is in a parliament concerning this particular situation that they go on. Let me go to that clip there. I'm sure it's on his page. Yesterday in Parliament, I think this is it, yes.
Debate has been used to rehash in a very partisan way some of what happened earlier. What I would say is this. Over the many years, I've been in Parliament for about 20 years.
Opposition leader and leader of government business, I just have a moment because
what we're doing here, we're debating the motion and the standing orders.
Continue, opposition leader.
Yes. So what I was saying, Madam Speaker, is that this debate has been used to cast and recast the narrative of what took place earlier in a particularly jaundiced and very unfair way. The custom, I've been in the Parliament for 20 years, come September. 10 years in the Senate, 10 years in the House. When the leader of government business or the leader of the opposition business seek to speak.
You know what, I want you guys to read body language, you know. Anytime you see Marty G clap your hand, it's serious. Anytime you see him clap your hand, it's serious. Only just notice if I know what I'm telling you. Just observe. Let's continue.
On an issue, they are allowed to speak. At least they're allowed to be heard. At least they're allowed to be heard as to what the issue is they want to raise. They don't have to come and ask you behind the speaker's chair what it is to clear it in advance. Anything procedurally that they wish to raise, they're allowed to raise on any item on the agenda. So the failure to allow the Leader of Opposition Business to speak on the point he wanted to raise, which was to question why the Integrity Commission's annual report hasn't been tabled today, that was most improper in our view. And that is what elicited the behavior that you saw in protest to the way in which he was being muzzled by not being allowed to ask his question. But you're justifying the bad behavior, aren't you?
And you're having bad behavior now, aren't you? The man is speaking, let him speak. It is not bad behavior, it's called a protest. Your behavior is bad by not allowing the people to you're not following the rules. You're being very unprofessional and now you're in an emotion. You understand? And behaving like a violator. And if you think, say, oh, because you're a woman, or a woman say you behave like a violator. Well, look, there's the magazine, big up yourself anywhere there. I see me get it from. I don't even know them word, violator. You're behaving like a violator.
And we would like those conventions to be restored.
And that's why they don't like Neckeisha Burchell. Allow him to speak. You hear in her background? That's why they don't like her. Because she's not afraid to tell you that you're out of order. Allow the Leader of Opposition to speak a rude. Respect goes where it comes from. Not because they don't like what the man is saying. It's the truth. And he never disrespect her. He's speaking about what occurred. When he's done, he can't say anything you want to say. But you have no discipline. Somebody who have no discipline cannot be no head of nothing. With great power comes great responsibility and discipline.
Because the House will run much better if due respect is paid to the Leader of the Opposition Business and Leader of Government Business as they play their respective roles. And what you did, and to the Speaker, what you did was you allowed the Leader of Government Business to speak extensively on the matter as he saw it, and you didn't even allow the Leader of Opposition Business to respond to what the Leader of Government Business had to say. That is not in keeping with the traditions of this House. That was most improper as well. And as for the member from North Central, I think it is Clarendon, indicating that we're aware of some rule. All I'm aware of is that the Integrity Commission Act says that annual reports are to be tabled in Parliament. And as soon as they should, as soon as they can.
It says as soon as possible. And you're incorrect, Leader of the Opposition.
Why can't it be
you're
tabled?
Incorrect.
The Integrity Commission published its cover letter as it is practice.
You are incorrect.
So that the public knows.
She said that she didn't turn off the mic here, so as far as I'm concerned, that's a bold-faced lie. She turned off his mic. She can't tell me whether she do it accidentally or not. How convenient as soon as she said it's incorrect. And they all over, I look to button them right there, so. And then she has to say, yo, Anna, she. Come on, Miss Moon, talk to you, baby. Dean, come on, man. This is what again.
Turn it off, Angelo.
So, I want the other people to know at the other end down there, so turn it off. So, I'll never disrespect the Leader of Opposition, see me.
Yeah, it's true. So,
I didn't press it, Leader of Opposition.
Oh, I'm glad to hear that, Madam Speaker. I'm very happy to hear that. I don't know who did, because I certainly didn't. Madam Speaker.
Hey, Marky G's, man, hey, man, remind me of my mother, yeah, man. Hey, mother cute, they way they do the response, you know. I hope so. I know it wasn't me.
The Integrity Commission Act requires their reports to be tabled. And you yourself issued a ruling, as you call it, some time ago, a couple of years ago, I think towards the end of 2023, if my memory serves me correctly, that they would be tolerable as quickly as reasonably possible. The annual report came here. The cover letter was published, as is their practice, so that everybody knows that something has come. And we were expecting to see it tabled today, and it wasn't. And the leader of opposition business wanted to ask why, in announcements, it wasn't tabled in light of that fact. He was not allowed even to ask the question. And we object both strongly to the way in which the proceedings of this House are being conducted, because they're being conducted in what appears to be a very partisan way, a manipulative way when it comes to sensitive political issues. And the democracy, this is a democracy that thrives on open discussion, transparency and debate. And here we have a minister, through his loud protestations, attempting to disrupt what I have to say. Yes, and I'd ask that you please desist and let me speak. If you want to speak on the matter, you can do so. Yes, yes, thank you. So the point at the end of the day is this. In our view, these reports must be tabled as soon as possible after they come here. There's a strong public interest in that, because there's a strong public interest in the work of the Integrity Commission being facilitated to reduce corruption and other wrongs against the good governance of the country being perpetrated. And we on this side are going to always be assiduous about that. And when we attempt to do so and we're shut down, it's not a good look. It appears to be an attempt to use up the parliament in a way which is inimical to the interests of good governance and democracy. So, Madam Speaker, at the end of the day, I think we've rehashed this matter. If others want to speak, of course, it's their right. But that's the point. Those are the points that I wish to make this afternoon.
Thank you.
Mr. Down to Marky G tired of them. Down to Marky G tired of them, ladies and gentlemen. I tell you the same man upset bad. We watch body language, you know. As Bolo you go on with. When you see Mark when I tapping on like so, trust me. When he stays up on the matter, he's very upset, ladies and gentlemen. Very upset. And rightfully so. But let me know what you think about that in the comment section.